Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly and I am the face behind the Embroidered Elephant podcast. Thank you for joining me for episode 7. It's gone very quickly and so has March. I do have a few updates in terms of my personal life. First one being quite a big update. I was going to wait until I had my contract through, but I did mention it when I went on a live recently with Kay from the Lazy Sunday Yarns. At the end of last podcast, I think it was, I mentioned that I was looking for work, and I said that I hope that I got an interview. I have actually had 2 interviews and I have been offered a job. So I won't say too much about that. As I said, I haven't got my contract yet. I'm waiting for my vetting and my DBS to come through. So I'm sort of in the balance a little bit. I haven't got a criminal record. I mean, I'm hanging a little bit because I don't know when I will be starting. Whether it will be mid-June, end of June, mid-July, end of July, I'm not quite sure. It depends how quickly the checks go through. So as I said, once I get my contract, I will probably tell you more about it, but until then, fingers crossed and tap on wood, just that everything goes smoothly. In other news, we had our first barbecue this week. Me, my partner and my dad, whom I will live with, and it was lovely. More so than the barbecue food itself, it's a chance to get outside and talk between us without being on our phones, without watching TV, and eating together as well. Usually we all eat at different times, we cook food for ourselves, so that was really nice as well. I have also got a few new things coming to the shop soon. And this week, because of some of the projects I've done, it will be slightly different in the way that the video is. I will be adding a few clips throughout this episode, so I hope that that's enjoyable. Sure it will be. It's something different and it's something I like watching other people do as well. So without further ado, grab your hot drink and your project if you're working on anything at the moment, and let's begin. I have got very ominous. It is a tea, Tetley or Twinings tea. Twinings tea, lemon and raspberry. So that's very nice. So if I didn't mention before, I predominantly crochet, so most of the projects will be crochet, obviously, but there's a lot of yarny stuff in here as well. So thank you for joining me. Everything is professionally over here because I'm working from my bed. I don't really have anywhere else to work from. My partner's working in the front room, and this bed is my desk space since lockdown started. So this was my first finished project. These are shorts, obviously. Hopefully you can tell that they're shorts. And they are made with Black Friday yarn from Hobbii, and it is, you need a 5.5mm hook, and it is size 4 yarn. Don't think it has, it's limited edition, I'm not sure if it has a name or not, but it's sort of this red. It looks a lot brighter on screen than what it is. So yeah, so I made these shorts. It was using an Emma P crochet pattern on, she does tutorials online. I have to say though, I don't love them. It's nothing to do with the pattern. They did take a long time to do. Well, it took a fair couple of weeks to do. As I said, it's nothing to do with the pattern, it's the fit of them. So because this is chunky, maybe it's chunky, maybe it's because it hasn't been washed, I'm not entirely sure, but it creases a lot. I don't know if that makes much sense, but when I wear them, it's sort of at the top of my legs it creases and it just looks really weird. They are made for sleeping, so it's not like I would wear these around the house particularly, because they are quite they're bum shorts, I call them. So they are nice. I haven't really worn them, as I said, because the fitting is quite weird. Because the yarn's quite stiff, it creases at the top of my legs, so it looks strange. And also they're quite loose at the top as well, which is my own fault again. I did add this sort of, not sure of the name of it, it's like shoelaces where it's a little tie, so that would cinch it in a little bit, but it hasn't really changed anything. So that's a shame. I'm not sure what I'll do with them either. I could try adding a cinch on the back as well. Obviously that would pull them in a little bit, but the fit of them is quite weird, so maybe I'll try washing them, and I hope for the best. Hope that loosens the yarn a little bit. If that doesn't work, then I'll just pull it out and make a jumper probably. I've got 2 and a bit balls left, and they're 100 grams each, so I'll have enough for a jumper. If you think that is, it's like the top, or that could be the bottom already. If I took off, not that I've thought about this, of course, if I was to take the crotch bit off, if I was to undo that and a couple of lines where I made the crotch area, obviously I think there's about 4 rounds, sorry. So if I take 4 rounds off, the way it was made is just a rectangle, so I could actually have that as the start of the bottom of a jumper, which now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds really attractive. Sounds like a really attractive idea, so I think I might actually do that, because the colour is lovely and I'd prefer to make something that I would wear rather than loosening the fibres a little bit, but still, because it's too big, I won't wear it. So thank you, I've just solved a problem with you. Thank you for your help. So yeah, I have got 2 more balls left, so I should have enough, even if it's short sleeved, because that is, you can't really see, but that's at my waist, so it's just under the bust area. So yeah, it should be enough. I'm not sure how I'll do it with the arms, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. Even if I make it short sleeved, I'll have enough, I'm sure. So that is the shorts, current shorts stroke my new jumper, the bottom of my new jumper. So as I said, the pattern was really easy to follow. I really like her tutorials. I used her tutorial to make my first jumper as well, because it's just about measuring your body shape and using that. So that's as easy as it comes, really, rather than fit in between a category, if that makes sense. So the way that you start it off is you do the ribbing, and then for these shorts you work down. It's all double crochet, so again it's quite easy. And then she teaches you how to you chain between the 2 sides. So obviously you'd have like a circle have a circular shape, and then you chain between the two sides, and then you build it up. You do 4 rounds each side. But obviously she explains it better, the different measurements and stuff. Yeah, so that is the shorts. That will be a jumper soon, hopefully. So that is the first project I finished. Then this was the next project that I was working on for so many hours. So this, if you remember, this was the shawl I made. Again, it is double crochet. It has been blocked. This was where I was at, I think, last time I showed you, so just under this, just above this stitch marker. So originally what happened is I started a pattern at my mum's house in Cornwall over the summer when we were allowed to travel, and the pattern got too hard. It wasn't originally meant to be all double crochets. It was meant to be, I think it's called the just put my foot in the bin. It was meant to be, I think it's called the Vela flower shawl. So it did obviously have quite intricate colours, patterns, stitches to it. So it was quite a complicated pattern, and I thought upon looking at it that it would be quite easy because it's a video tutorial. However, for some reason I just could not get my mind over it. I looked at the written pattern, I watched the YouTube video, and I watched it in slow motion, I rewatched it, and I just could not get my mind to figure it out. So I don't know why. Maybe it was just a bit too complex for me, but it required a lot of patience and a lot of concentration at that time. And while I was in Cornwall, my sister was there. She's quite young, and obviously I wanted to give her attention, and my mum had a new puppy as well, which I don't need to say anything else. So I put that down for ages. Came back at the start of the year and wanted to finish it, get this finished, and I couldn't get on with the pattern. So I decided, rather than making it really complex, I would just focus on getting it done, and I just did the double crochet, as I say. And because it's a yarn cake, it's a gradient cake, it didn't require much work to make it look quite nice. One of the big issues I did have though is, you'll see at the top, where I first started crocheting it was rounded, where my stitches weren't very even. I think, as you can see, like compared to my later stitches and my earlier stitches when I first started to crochet, they were very loose, which made the shaping of it a bit strange. So I did have to pick out the top because it sort of went in an arched shape, whereas shawls should be straight, or they should come out obviously to play for your neck. So I did pick out some of the stitches, and I hope it does lay a lot better than what it did. I was hoping that blocking would sort it, but obviously because of it did help, but it didn't solve the problem. So it does have a little bit of a collar, but I think that looks alright if I can put it on properly. So yeah, as I said, it does have a bit of a collar. It does take a bit of adjusting, but you can see not very well. It does. It's a shawl. It works as a shawl, and it looks absolutely fine. Sorry, I keep on wiping my jumper because there is something on the screen, and it looks, because I'm wearing a white jumper, it looks like I've got a stain, but it's not. yeah, so it does have to fold over, but I wasn't prepared to unpick it all. It took me long enough to finish it, so many hours, and although I really like it now, yeah, I'm not going to unpick it. I can't do that to myself. Maybe I should have, well, I didn't know at the start, so you know, there's no point in saying I should have done this because I didn't know. And it's finished. So that was the hobbii twister yarn cake. I believe it's called something like sundown, sunset, something like that. If you hold it like that, it looks like a sunset. Yeah, so it's beautiful. As I said, the shaping's a bit off, but I'm looking forward to wearing it. Not sure how to store it though. How do you store shawls? What do you do with them? Just fold them up? Not sure. I don't want it to get all misshapen. That's the main thing. Yeah, so that has been, the shawl has been a work in progress for months and months and months and months. I bought it second hand, the yarn cake, I bought it second hand from a shop on Etsy. I'll see if I can find it. But you can find it on it was a D-stash, so you know. Yeah, I did the fringes as well. They took absolutely ages to fold up each individually and hook them, and I need to cut them because you can see there are ones that are much longer than the rest. So I need to cut that. I couldn't go through it in the same evening as well. Yeah, so that has been one of the longest projects I've had so far, in terms of putting it down and picking it up again and putting it down and not knowing what to do with it. But yeah, I wouldn't like to know how many hours I spent, but it's done. It's one less project, and that was one of the ones that was taking up a lot of headspace. Speaking of long projects, I have also got, apologies that I didn't keep a stitch marker in it when I last showed you. I'm not sure when I last showed you, but it's grown. This is a granny square blanket. It's just simple design. Obviously it's not blocked, so it's a bit wonky in the middle. Yeah, so that is the finished granny, well, that's the ongoing granny square, and that is done using Hayfield Spirit. Shade 0408. I believe that it's called Sundown. This beautiful, this rainbow, but it's muted. Lovely colours. This is my, I would say this is one of my most bought yarns. I use it for my granny square jumper as well. So yeah, that is the that is another ongoing project. I think I want to make it sort of so that I can put it around myself. Obviously it's not long enough yet. I think it's mainly the length. But again, that's a slow project because it takes a lot of rounds. But I'm liking the way that it's going so far. It's quite colourful. It's very colourful, obviously. But yeah, that is an ongoing project. I do that every now and then. I think I need to get into the routine of doing sort of a round before I start a new project, or like dedicate a Sunday to doing a round, or do a round a day or something. Then it'll be finished a lot quicker. Did also want to say that at the moment, so I had at the end of last month I had quite a few ongoing whips, works in progresses. So one of them was the shawl, the other one was the blanket, and another one a pair of socks, which I'm going to show you. I've been trying to focus on one project, getting that done, and then moving on to the next, rather than starting any new projects. So I'm feeling good, and I think that I'm hoping to get to the point where soon, in the next couple of weeks, I'll just have this as a whip, and then I can have another project, because I'm sort of counting this as a continuous whip, if that makes sense. Because it's blanket, I'm not going to just solely focus on this because it's boring, it doesn't challenge me, it's just the same stitch over and over, it doesn't keep my interest or anything. Although I really like the colours of it, I love it, but it just doesn't keep my interest, basically. I forgot as well to add that I have actually finished a project, another little project. I sent it to my sister for her birthday. I'll insert a clip here. Hopefully I explained during it that these are clothes for her doll. I made her a little handmade elephant, very on brand, which she's kept and for a few years now, and she didn't have many clothes for it. I think she had like a jacket and a dress maybe. So you'll see during the video that I crocheted her quite a lot of clothes, because I feel more confident crocheting. I feel that it's quicker than hand sewing things, just my opinion. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy that little video. So before I send them off, I thought I would just show you a few of these simple clothes that I made for my sister's birthday. I made her a doll, I think it was last year or the year before, and she asked me to make her some clothes. So the quickest way for me to do that was to crochet them, just because the details are so delicate. So here I've made a pair of shorts. This is like a little crop top where you tie it around the neck and then around the back as well. A little dress, a skirt, and just a jumper here, or a little jacket. So I hope they all fit, because I've sort of had to do it on measurements. But yeah, I thought I'd show you them before I send them off. Oh, so that's half a double crochet. This was just single crochet. Wait, focus. There you go. That was just a single crochet. That was double crochet again, and single crochet, but with double crochet for the arms. So yeah. So, as I said, I hope you enjoyed that little video. So that is the blanket. That is going to be a continuous whip. Then the other whip that I have, which again, if you've watched a few episodes, you might recognise this. This is, if you're not, sorry, I'm just looking outside, there's a bin man coming, or a cement truck or something, I don't know, a big lorry, I know that. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until he's gone. He's just gone. It was a road sweeper, but I didn't realise they came up residential streets, but apparently they do. So these are socks. If you're familiar with how they're done. So this is obviously the toe up, got 2 stripes, and this is merino wool. Yeah, this is superwash merino, I believe. I'll link it below what it is. This is reclaimed yarn from Libertine Crochet, I believe her Etsy shop is called. It used to be a jumper, which is cool. I have mentioned it before. The only thing I would say is that because it's reclaimed, it's not firm, if that makes sense. It's very stretchy and it is quite hard on my hands because it is, some parts are thicker than others, so it's quite hard to pull it through the loops. Yeah, so they're both at the same level. It's the Ron Strong My First Crochet Socks pattern. And I am just moving on to the heel. So that is the gusset. So it's just widening it before it goes into the heel. So I've got both of those. They look pretty much exactly the same. So yeah. I've done, looks like I have done one wrong. Yeah, I've missed a row on one of them, but don't think it matters too much. I don't think. They look about the same height. I don't think one row will really make that much of a difference. I'm not going to pull out all of my stitches for one row. Oh, I'm learning a lot on this podcast so far. And that is using a Clover 2.5 hook, if you're interested. Next I'm going to move on to actually I'll go to shop updates and then I'll go to new things afterwards. So, shop updates, I'm just going to show you some of the bags that I have made. So this is a style that's already in my shop, but I've made a few more. I've used up the rest of my material. And I've used a lilac thread as well. Not sure how well you can see that. But I have made 6, I believe, 7. I've made 7 of those, so they will be in the shop hopefully by the end of the week. Hoping to take some pictures today. This is a blue daisy one. Oh. Haven't trimmed the ends properly. Yep, so that is a blue daisy one. Again, really simple. I quite like this one. I think I've got one in the shop already. I'm not sure if it's the same size. But what I've been doing this month, as I said before, is I've been finishing everything that I've started. So I cut those all out. Again, I think before Christmas. But I just haven't had the motivation to do them. So I finished them now, which is great. This is another one. This is a plant one. I think I've got one similar in the shop already, but I will have a look. That will be up as well. Then I've got another pink one. Oh, I haven't tied the ends yet, but I will do. So the pink one, it's got a purple lining, which is quite, I think it's got white metallic on it, I would say, or is it iridescent? Not sure. So that's quite a cool one as well. That's quite a small bag too, so that will be out. And lastly, the biggest of them all is this green, yellow and red bag. So it has got a green lining as well. And that is the back. So it's just a simple drawstring bag. So that is obviously how it works. You'll have your project inside. So I also wanted to mention that I am thinking about, there are a few bags that I have made that aren't perfect. They're handmade, so they're not going to be. Not every time. So I was thinking about putting a listing up and having sort of random or mystery bags sent to you. Obviously they'll be at a reduced price and they aren't perfect. So that will be the whole point in it. So let me know what you think down below, if you buy bags or if you're interested in buying crochet bags. I have also made a few sock cozies, or sock yarn cozies even. So I'm hoping to introduce these to the shop in a couple of weeks. The reason I have yarn knitters at the moment is because I have been testing it out to make sure that they work and that they're the right size. Again, I will have more information on those in a later video. So, put quite simply, the purpose of a yarn sock is to keep your yarn cake, which is this, is to keep it in one piece. So I know that I take my crochet out with me when I go to the park, or at the weekend I'm going to go see family, so I'll be taking crochet with me. It's to make sure that it doesn't roll around and get tangled, and because it is a centre pull cake, it stays in there. It's no fuss at all. But as I said, I will have a video out soon about that. Also on my Etsy I'll have more information about it as well, and there will be more designs than this, although this one is really cute. Mother bear, the cubs. Yeah, and it's a lovely mustard colour as well, so I love that one. Another thing, it's not a shop update, but I will be inserting some footage here about something else that I got up to over the month. For the background noise, but I thought that I would just show you the process of dyeing yarns. I know you can't see very well with me standing in the way, but this is the coffee stained yarn, this is the avocado skin stained yarn, which is a ready, light ready. This was actually red roses, which is sort of a purpley mauve colour. And this was blackberries from last year, which is a deep red scarlet colour. So I'm just going to do these now. So this is just plain water. I know some people say to put detergent in there, but I haven't for the moment. So I'm going to start with the lightest one, which is the avocado. I'm just gonna take so you can see that there's a bit of colour coming off at the moment. but I like it. So this is the first one. This is the red roses one. Let's stay out of the light. So this is a purpley colour at the moment. So this doesn't have as much change. Ooh. Where I've tied the yarn up, where I put the ties, it's a bit lighter. So that'd be nice. Ooh. This is the coffee soaked yarn, obviously. Really deep colour. So I do like the fact that on this one there are parts that are slightly darker. Last but not least is the blackberries. This is like beetroot red. You can see it. I think this might be the one that stains my fingers. I think I might do this one again, but that is the final colour. So hopefully you will have just seen the process of me making some, or dyeing some yarn. So these are, this yarn was dyed at home. You can see the sort of process. It's a very easy process, or I found it quite easy to do at home, and these were dyed naturally. So this was dyed using blackberries that we collected during the summer last year, and we've had them just for ages in the freezer, so they needed to be used up. I didn't use all of them, we still got quite a lot. I did make some jam as well last year. So this was originally undyed cotton. It was sort of raw colour, so that took on quite well, and this was done using coffee. So this one doesn't have as much, as many different colours. You can see some bits are darker than others, but it's quite, I was expecting a darker colour. Maybe I should have boiled the coffee for longer, but it hasn't got as much variation. I look at it on camera, maybe it does, but in person it doesn't really. Maybe it's the light catching it. It does have a bit of variety, but not as much as I quite like cotton that's like that. So it's got much darker bits and lighter bits, and it's got a lot of variation. So yeah, that was the coffee was done on undyed cotton as well, DK. This was done using avocado skins, and it is such a beautiful colour, and this one has a lot of variation in it and I love it. So this was bleached cotton, and you can see that there's a lot of variation in it, and I just love the colour. I think I only had one avocado skin and a pip as well, so I've been collecting them, and I'm hoping to do some more yarn when I get through some of my stash. I'm hoping to dye some more yarn and see how it will be with, I think I've got 5 or 6, even more than that, pips and skins in the freezer. I'm not keeping them on the side, don't worry. And the last one, this was, if you believe it or not, this was red roses. Again, this was bleached cotton. This was not the colour I was I was looking for at all. But it's a surprise, isn't it? When you're learning new skills, everything's a surprise. So some of it is unbleached, undyed even, and some of it is this browny colour. So after I dyed them, I did wash them in a bowl, rinse them out, and then I put them on a short delicate cycle as well, just to get any excess dye out. So I think this one originally was a bit purple, but obviously the colour came out in the wash. So these two, because they're more of a they are DK, but because they're thinner than the other one, I think I might use them, see if I can make socks out of them, stripy socks. I think that would be quite nice. And the purple and the coffee, not sure what I'll make out of those yet, but I'm sure I'll find something. So yeah, that was that experiment, which kept me entertained for quite a while. As I was saying, I need to, obviously I'm doing the Stash List 2021, where I'm trying not to buy any more yarn until I've used more of my stash up, which hasn't completely worked, but it's I set the rules for myself, so you know, I think it's okay if I break it a little bit. I haven't been too bad, I don't think. Anyway, yeah, so once I've used some more of my stash, I've told myself that I can buy some undyed cotton, probably sock weight to be honest, and dye some more. Everywhere I'm going at the moment, sorry there's a window there, every time I'm going out at the moment I keep on seeing lots of flowers that I would love to try. Daffodils, obviously it's the season for daffodils at the moment. Once they start to wilt a little bit, maybe chopping the heads, or if they're in public spaces, I'm not going to cut someone's garden down. So yeah, that was a fun experiment. Right, so going on to the last things that I've got, a little bit random. So this is a crochet magazine, it's called Crochet Now. I was sent it by my brother and his wife. I'm not sure how they got it, but it was a free copy. So I've looked through it and there are quite a few good ideas. So this is issue 67. So I really like the look of this wrap, which again I would need to find some yarn for it because I don't have enough in one colour to make that. That was one. It's sort of like a wrap top, I suppose. And the other one I saw was this sheep, or is it ram? This is just so cute. It's for Aries. So what I was thinking is, I don't know anyone who's an Aries. I don't think I do. But I'm probably going to look and see if they've got one for a Sagittarius. So that is, I've forgotten what it's called. It's the horse's legs, I think. It's the archer. So I'm going to see if they've got one for my star sign and make one of those, because the sheep is just so cute. It also came with the British birds, so I might look at making one for my nan, but I've never tried amigurumi before, so I'm not sure how difficult it is. Might see if there's a bird here that I have all the colours for. I might just give it a go. I don't have any black. I'll have a look. Might be a scrappy bird, which is fine. And it came with these stitch markers as well, which are quite cute. Yeah, so thank you to my brother and Chris. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I don't think I've bought a crochet magazine before. I've bought books, a few books with patterns in them, but I've never bought a magazine that I'm aware of. I think I definitely used to have Molly Makes, but I bought Molly Makes when I wasn't crocheting, so I've got a few, but it's not just crochet, is it? I think the point of getting a crochet magazine is that you'll make a majority of the patterns in it, and I'm never sure, and obviously at the moment I'm not really going shopping looking for crochet magazines. So yeah, I haven't bought them before. So again, thank you. Hello. So I have had to change the battery. I had just gotten to the point where I had spoken about the magazine that I have bought, or that I was sent by my brother. Just before I go on, I just want to say, if your name is Jane and you happen to be watching and you happen to be my partner's mother, then stop watching now. I'll give you a little warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, just in case you're still watching, I will go over something I bought for myself first. So this was the yarn I bought for myself first. So this is called Jellyfish. It's from Sunset Yarns. It is 75 superwash BFL, which I think is Barefaced Leicester, and 25% nylon, and it's 100 grams. There is her Etsy shop if you want to find it. So I did buy this quite late at night. I do have a habit of ordering things on Etsy quite late at night. I didn't need any more, and I was caught between this and a lovely white, blue and purple skein that she had. In hindsight, I probably should have gone for that. Although I love this one, it is a luminous, very bright. It is like highlighter bright. Although I really like this one, the blue and white and purple one I have had my eye on for a number of months, so in hindsight I should have gone for that, but hey ho, I've got this now and it is beautiful. So in the picture it did look more pink and orange than yellow, but I'm kind of looking forward to scanning it up, caking it up, sorry, so that I can see the pinks in it more. And then so Jane shouldn't be watching now. So Jane is my partner's mother. I think she watches, not entirely sure, but I bought her I'm hopefully seeing her. She lives in France, so hopefully I'm seeing her in the summer. We've booked, there's a family holiday that's booked, so hopefully we're seeing her during the summer. Long story short, I wanted to buy her some proper sock wool, because at the moment she has made some socks out of DK. I haven't made any socks out of DK. I've only made socks out of sock weight yarn. So I thought it would be nice if I bought her a hand dyed, indie dyed skein of sock weight yarn. But I know that Jane is she doesn't really get on with wool. She finds it itchy, so I opted for Superwash Fine Merino, which I've read that it should be alright. It's better than some of the alternatives. I did look for quite a while and I did find it really hard to find a sock base without any wool in it. I'm not an expert, but I wonder whether maybe acrylic yarn is harder to dye at home. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to ask Kay. She'll know more than me. So this is from Zakami, the shop on Etsy. There are her details. Hopefully that is the right way. So obviously Jane doesn't know about this. She said that her favourite colour was cornflower blue. So I think that this would be perfect. Hopefully. So that'll be a nice surprise for her. And if we don't end up seeing her, I'll probably send it somehow. Although I don't have great trust in post, especially going abroad. And I have to see her name. So Melinda, I think her name is, the shop owner. I think it says Melinda and Little Esther. So Melinda, I'm going to say her name is. So thank you, Melinda. She also put in there a mini skein, which is, she says it's a sample skein of mistletoe and holly, 100% superwash merino, sock weight. So that was really nice. It's got little flecks of blue and green. Blue and green, I mean red and green. Red, green, blue. It's very colourful. But being a bit cheeky, I'm going to keep this for myself. This can go in my scrappy socks. So yeah, I think that is about it. I think that's might have been quite a long episode, so apologies. Hopefully you've got good progress on your project, whatever you're making or whatever you're painting, crocheting, knitting, what have you. Hopefully you've made good progress. I actually like listening to podcasts while I'm working. It helps me to stay focused, especially if it's something really boring. Yeah, so the only other thing that I wanted to mention is yesterday, so I'm filming this on Thursday, on Wednesday I went live, my first Instagram live, which was really was scary, but then you sort of get into it. It's not as scary as you think. It's just making the first step. So me and Kay from Lazy Sunday Yarns went live on Instagram, talking about the positive mental health benefits of crafting, in particular crochet and knitting. So if you wanted to check that out, then it will be on my Instagram. It's saved under IGTV, or just on my page if you happen to see it. So I will leave my Instagram details below, along with my Etsy shop if you're interested, and I think that's it. And anyone I've talked about in this video. So thank you again for watching. I do really appreciate it. Feel free to send me a message or to comment below or to like the video, or you know, any way of getting in touch would be great. But that is it from me. Hopefully when I speak to you next week, next month, oh god, next time I do my podcast, hopefully I will have finished my stripy socks. I'm hoping to finish those over the weekend when we're going to see family within the restrictions. So hopefully I'll be able to finish my socks while I'm there, or before I get there. Other than that, I also want to make my cardigan, which I haven't made any progress on. I haven't even started it, so I haven't brought it up in this episode much until now. But yes, as I said, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, let me know what you're making at the moment in the comments below, and link any good or any, and your favourite yarn, indie dyed yarn shop below. Not that I should be buying any, but please humour me. Okay, I will see you soon. Next week I'll be releasing a vlog, so if you want to see me for if you want to hang out with me for a week or so doing sewing, making bags, etc., then feel free to pop over. Okay, bye, see you soon.